Good afternoon, and a very good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Welcome to VUEGRAPHY. Well, I got a question a couple of days ago. It was about image quality. What is image quality? And the question was now, the question may sound a bit odd, but I'll explain you what the question actually means. The question was, what's the difference between a mirrorless camera and a medium format camera? Medium format camera when it comes to image quality. That was the question. Like, what is when it comes to image quality? What's the difference between mirrorless camera and medium format? Now, at the first, I was like, what? What mirrorless has to do with medium format? Mirrorless is just a technology which carries crop sensor, full frame, and video format sensor inside that technology of mirrorless. And video format is just a sensor which can be in the mirrorless format and also in the DSLR. Later, I found out that what the guy asking was when he said mirrorless, he was referring to full frame because in general, where the guy from the city where he belongs, and that city, people refer full frame as a mirrorless. Well, they say, okay, which full frame you have? They're not going to ask which full frame. They ask which mirrorless you have. So it was like that. So basically, the term mirrorless is mostly referred as full frame camera. So what he was trying to say is that what's the difference between full frame and medium format when it comes to image quality. Now, I can easily say, oh, there are more than 30 parameters which defines image quality. It can be SNR from various sensor size, sensor type, analog to digital converter, number of glass elements, coating of glass elements, and blah 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 blah. Even the CFA, color filter area, and all that. So lots of things, lots of things. Now that being said, what I later I just then I explain it when it comes to image quality, but it gave me an idea. Okay, let me make a video about it, and I'm going to surprise you with some facts. Trust me, it will blow you away what I'm going to share with you in this video. Talking about image quality. Now here is the thing: if you have a crop sensor camera, all right, let's say Canon 450D, which is around 12 megapixel. You try to take image, some landscape image, try to recover the shadows, highlight, doesn't look good. Okay, so you switch to full frame, which is let's say Canon 5D Mark IV. Full frame camera, 30 megapixel. Okay, you start getting better image quality, better ISO performance, better shadow recovery, better highlight separation, better dynamic range in compared to 450D. So like you have 12 megapixel crop sensor 450D, you upgrade it to 5D Mark IV, which is 30 megapixel. Okay, but you're still not satisfied, and you decided, okay, I'm going to medium format, and you directly jump from full frame Canon 5D Mark IV, you should jump to Fujifilm GFX 50R, which is 50 megapixel medium format. So 12 megapixel, 30 megapixel, 50 megapixel. Okay, so now we are expecting that, okay, now this medium format is it's going to give me the ultimate image quality, right? That makes sense. Medium format, bigger sensor, it means best image quality, best dynamic range, blah 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 blah. Now I have to break this, this happiness of having a medium format. I'm going to break this illusion or delusion, whatever you say it. And I'm going to break it for you because that Canon 450D, that Canon 5D Mark IV, and GFX 50R. All these three cameras are having the same pixel size. Yes, all these three cameras, Canon 450D, 5D Mark IV, GFX 50R. All these three cameras are having the same pixel size, which is 5.3 micron meter. 5.3, 5.3, 5.3. So, if the pixel size is the same, then how the performance is getting better from 450D to full frame? There is lots of improvement, but from 450D to medium format, from Canon 5D Mark IV to medium format GFX 50R, how the image quality improves, even though the pixel size is the same. How come? And here is the answer. I told you earlier that there are 30 different parameters which defines image quality. Image quality basically highly dependent on your camera SNR firmware, signal to noise ratio firmware. I made a video about how the camera sensor and technology works. I linked somewhere in the card over there. In that video, I specifically mentioned that this is a digital sensor. Its analog output goes to the amplifier where we define the ISO. Then it goes to the analog to digital converter which digitize it. Then it goes to the camera processor. Camera processor have this SNR firmware which cooks that raw file. So how come the GFX 50R having the best dynamic range and better ISO capability, low light performance in compared to this Canon 5D Mark IV and 450D? And the answer is the SNR firmware inside the Fujifilm GFX 50R. Software basically cooks that output coming from the sensor, and then it filter out the noise and it produce the best image quality, rich colors, high contrast, which gives you that feeling like, okay, yeah, this is something more detailed. Yeah, number of pixels is higher. Number of pixels is higher in GFX 50R, like 12 megapixel, 30 megapixel, 50 megapixel. That makes sense. But again, image quality doesn't mean that higher the pixel, the better the image quality. No, that's not the case. We have Canon 5DS 50 megapixel. It's full frame, but it doesn't have that image quality which GFX 50R have. GFX 50R having the same 50 megapixel, just like full frame Canon 5D SLR, but is the sensor size is small, so it means that the pixel size is small, which means the dynamic range is less, the high ISO capability is less, low light performance is less in compared to GFX. So here is the catch. Don't ever think that if you have a bigger sensor, it's going to perform better. Whoever said that to you, that go to full frame, it's better. Bigger the sensor, better. Whoever said that, that's totally wrong. I just prove it in front of you. 450D, Canon 5D Mark IV, and GFX 50R. All these three cameras having the same pixel size, but their performance are relatively different, totally different with each other. Canon 450D having the worst performance, then a little better in the 5D Mark IV performance better than 450D, but GFX 50R performance better than Canon 5D Mark IV. Why? Because of SNR firmware. So here is the catch. The image quality basically heavily depending on the camera SNR firmware, camera software. Now the biggest question that any normal layman or any new photographer going to ask, how we know that Which camera got the best SNR firmware? That's a very good question and very valid question. Okay, here is the thing. It's not easy to identify which camera got the best SNR firmware. Typically speaking, if the expensive the camera, so we think that okay, it carries the best SNR firmware, like a D850 or the Sony A7R4 or A7R5, and this like 90% it basically applies because the camera company using the best SNR firmware at the higher megapixel cameras, because higher megapixel cameras by default their image quality is worse at the pixel level because the pixels are small. So in order to remove that noise or remove that deficiency in all those high megapixel camera companies using the best SNR firmware to overcome that deficiency, so you can enjoy the better image quality. So higher the megapixel, it means that the lower, the lowest, the low light performance. And in order to cover that low light performance, camera company using the best SNR firmware to improve that low light performance, improve that dynamic range. This is every camera company is doing. Canon, Nikon, Sony, everybody is doing it. The higher the megapixel camera they are having, the better the SNR firmware they are using. But there is a way. There is a way to identify what's the best SNR firmware inside every camera. I'm going to give you an example. Nikon Z6, okay, Z6 II, and Z5, 24 megapixel cameras, okay, latest cameras. So by default everybody thinks that they have the best SNR firmware because they are latest. So if a normal human brain processes this information, it automatically agrees on this that okay, they are latest cameras, so it means that they are having the best SNR firmware in Z6 or Z6 II or Z5. But that's not the case. The old camera, Nikon D750, okay, D750 still holds the best value SNR in that camera. That camera is still having the best SNR value, best SNR firmware in any Nikon camera. I don't know what Nikon did, but that's 750 T750 having the best SNR firmware, better than Z6, better than $6,000 Nikon D3X, which was also 24 megapixel camera. I did a whole video about those cameras. I'm going to link again on the card. You can see by yourself. So T750 having the best SNR firmware. I have another example of Nikon ZF versus Z5. So Z5 is an old camera, ZF just announced, okay, and both are 24 megapixel camera. Z5 conventional sensor, ZF PSI sensor. Both are 24 megapixel. But when I compare the dynamic range and exposure recovery, I found out that up to -2 stops, Z5 ZF was better. Okay, but after -3, -4, -5 exposure compensation, Z5 took the lead. Its output was better than Z5, ZF. So Z5, which is old technology, older than ZF, at -3 EV, -4 EV, -5 EV, it was performing better than ZF, which is the new camera. So it means that the firmware inside the Z5 is better in compared to ZF. Again, shocking, but that's how it is. But again, that's not a normal practice that everybody can perform. Unfortunately, I am crazy enough to do that. So that's what I do. So it helps people. That's why our agenda on this channel to help you guys in order to decide what's best for you. So here is the conclusion of this video, and I'm going to wrap up with this note. Never go with the number of megapixel, never go with the sensor size. Always check the SNR firmware performance. Check online YouTube videos. Check sample photos. See how much noise you are seeing in the shadow area, and then decides you should go for that camera or not. Or any of your friend having that camera which you wish to buy, ask that friend to take some raw file shots at zero exposure compensation, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and give you that raw files so you can see by yourself when you're trying to recover the exposure in Lightroom or Photoshop. See how much noise you are getting, how much that white balance is shifted when you're trying to recover the exposure, or how much shadow recovery you are able to get, how much highlight suppression you are able to do. That's how you know how good the camera SNR firmware is. So when I was talking about 450D, Canon 450D, or Canon 5D Mark IV, or the Fujifilm GFX 50R, all these three cameras having the same pixel size. So my mind or anybody thinks that if the pixel size is the same, so it means that all these three cameras should perform equal, right? That's how it should be because the pixel size is the same. But that's not the case. Despite of having same pixel size on all these three cameras, their output is totally different. Totally. All because of SNR firmware. So here's the answer of this question. How do we identify what's define the image quality? It's SNR firmware. That's it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you like it, and I'll see you guys in future with some new content. Till then, take care. Bye.